Well, good evening, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your SPDR ETF stock market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is for the evening of Tuesday, the 12th of August, 2025. And what a day it was, because the stock indices caught on fire. Now, we had a headline number in the CPI, the headline, which showed very moderate inflation, coming in right at the estimates. It was the back end, the core number, that went up 0.2% more than the market thought, and no one paid attention to it after 5 minutes. The market instead said, I'm missing out, and away it went. It reversed course and just took off, and the question is, why? Well, a lot of money on the sideline that's been waiting, and they're probably just saying this is the weak month and we're going up and making a new high. And that's going to go in the record book. I mean, we did come up, and in some of these indices, we're making new highs. So the idea of a weak August is being questioned by everything right now. Number two, if I called it bear news in the back end of the core number because it keeps rising. I showed tonight in my newsletter what's happening with the headline versus the core. The core is very important, friends. The exclusions in it, what it does, and where it lays out. Go buy tomatoes in the store. They're going up slowly. Go buy an appliance. You're seeing it's going up, not down. I can go on and on with items like this. That is what is taking place. And if you go back and you look at a 2-year period or so, you are not going to see wages are keeping up with the overall core CPI. It's outpacing it, and we show all that and we talk about that. So you do want to get the newsletters that I write and see them from time to time and see where I'm pointing you. That does not mean I'm bearish. You never fight the tape. It's the first thing you learn. By the way, I began in '69. My first office I was in was G.H. Miller and Company. And my job, in part, were two. Number one, when I came upstairs, I had to take off the glass dome. I know you don't believe this, but it's true. The glass dome. And then put the tape in it, and you'd sit there, and the tape would be stamped on, and that's how you were reading the quotes. Later on, we got those clacking boards in the office, so that would come there. And of course, down the road, you know, it all became electronic. But what an interesting time. That was one of my jobs. The other was going downstairs with that new Polaroid camera that came out, and we'd have chalkboards of all the price, and I'd take pictures, and that's how you learn the business. Then eventually I went to the trade desk, ran the trade desk, went into the pits, did it all. All right, opened my own companies, and the rest for me was my history, and it's what it was, and it's been a fun ride. But I've seen this, and I watch it, and I watch how people react to it. And this is herd mentality right now. You never fight herd mentality. You're going to get run over. That's why it's called a stampede. Stand in front of either horses, cows, whatever's coming at you. You're not going to be able to dodge it. Only in Jurassic Park do they suddenly have a stone you can get behind. All right, and that's what's going on right here. So pay attention to that. Bonds were pretty stable today. They didn't do very much. Amazon barely higher. You know, you can see the markets that are being pulled along. Netflix not acting the best that it could act. Apple, I mentioned it yesterday. I'm going to say it again today. They bought the president, and they got themselves their phones, and they've gotten back on the good graces, and the stock has gone up. Even Lilly showed up today to the party, Tesla as well, right here, and ARK, because it's been buying so much Tesla, doing better. Gold didn't go up. GM was up a fraction, and Ford was up a fraction today, but that's pretty much it. I was watching AMC, and I was having candy just now, and I was watching the chair, and what he was saying about debt restructuring that they've done, how their EBITDA is doing phenomenal, and he talked that stock up about a dime, and I was watching it happen, and I get it. And as he said, there is a strong end of the year coming because there's a good set of movies. He tried his best to make the argument of how much more money the studios make by releasing the movies first in AMC or the other theater chains out there. than going to streaming first. You know, it made sense what he said, but I don't know that that's going to work for them. Everything's relative. One of you wrote in for me, I won't use the name today, Exelon, and it's a good call. They're a utility service company covering the big boys of utilities. I mean the big boys. Go look them up and you'll see what I'm saying. And they engage in energy distribution. Now, they've been in a sideways pattern here, and they took off to the upside, and they've recently seen some price corrections. I think that's important to be looking at. The next thing you want to see is what the chart did. Higher high, lower low. So you've made a trading top of sorts in the market. You can see the action back here, how when the market finally fought its battle and got away from the 18-day average, it did accelerate about 5-6%, nothing super major. And all it's really done is fallen back into the combination of support at the 100-day average and the 18. So given the right pattern, I'd get very interested in this market off the long side, but it's not quite there. That's the thing to say. And momentum just turned down in the chart as well. When we look at Netflix, I'm not looking for it to run very far right here. This market's up to the upper Bollinger Band. That's what I was looking for. Now I'd like it to consolidate and see what it can do after that. In Dash, you peaked out right here. You fell back in, what was that, 36 hours. Right down 3 days, and now you're bouncing again. But I think a lot of these markets are just getting carried along with the stock index of these people just rushing to buy anything they can get their hands on. Google, okay, Chrome, they're getting bids, okay? 34 billion, I think, was the bid today. They're not even for sale. And even if they lose the court case against them, where they have to break it out and everything, they have enough money to fight this thing forever. So it's nice to know that people are doubling the projected value of the company, but they're not giving that up. In Starbucks, I like what I'm seeing. The market is caught in that trading range here. It expanded it out. I don't think it's ready to run anywhere of any real length. I could make an argument for 97, about $4 higher, but I think it's got more to do. But this was an impressive little move. And the support's 92.22 as I see it in it. Robinhood I like a lot, you know, and I keep saying they're in crypto, they're in every part of the market. So I look at it, higher lows, higher highs, look for the resistance to be right up here. Same in Tesla. While it's come back very nicely, there's a lot of resistance at upper Bollinger Bands. You don't have to pay attention to them. I do, and my paid subscribers should. When we look at Joby Aviation, this is doing what I want. I want to see the market consolidate at this 18-day average. It's oversold. I think that now you're in no man's land. Higher high, lower low. I'd be patient and wait for it to do something. Financial services, it took all this to get them back up to the 18-day average. Think of how far the market had to come back for that. Now it needs to consolidate it in some way. I think you've got a trade bottom in, but not a trend yet that I want to pronounce. In XLI, I want to get bullish industrials and all that again, but it refuses to stay over the 18-day average and give a buy signal. The momentum is flat in the water. So this is a market that carried, but it carried in a very certain way. Not everything participated. You're seeing this. The energies aren't up either. Look at where that market is. This was very much a tech-driven rally, in my opinion, today. You've got higher high in gold, lower low. It's certainly not paying attention to that core inflation number, not yet at least. Silver market, same type of thing, a higher high and low in the market, sort of just drifting right there. Copper miners came alive, and I think gold miners are alive. Higher lows, higher highs. They had been a beaten up group in the miners. So now that the metals are worth so much more money in the ground, and people, again, fear of missing out, they're buying things. I don't know if they belong in them or not, but that's what they're doing. BND, look at how it's slipping back to the 18-day average of closes, lost its bullishness. Probably going to hit that number, play around there for a little bit. And the dollar, are we going back here, or are we going to get up and over the 18-day average and resume a rally? You're right at that important point now. And if FX sees any indication, as long as you don't take out the break low of Monday, this market can still try to work itself higher as I see it. So you put it all together, you've got a game plan to work with, and from that plan, we try to come up with ideas. So as you know, I did a gold report. It goes off our website tomorrow at midnight. You want to see it? Go now. Weekly charts, daily charts, video commentary on specifically gold, GDX, and GLD. Price counts and 2 seasonal charts, Season X and more research. I show you shorter and longer term information. It is time sensitive as it's going to go off. It does tell you what I'm thinking in the market, where it's at. All you need to do is click up here or go to iraepstein.com. As soon as you're there, look on the left, you will see it. I'm Ira. You have yourself a great evening. I'll catch up with everybody in the other videos tonight. First thing in the morning as we take a look at the morning flash. And remember, Thursday, you're going to get PPI. And hopefully tomorrow, you get my dollar report. Have yourself a great evening.